Okay, so this is a Ford axle from a 2007 Ranger. It is an 8.8 and it is 3L5588, so 355 gears with the limited slip. I just got it the other week from the scrapyard. I took it out in no time at all. But anyways, it has the limited slip. It has the limited slip and the 8.8 ring gear, 355 gears. It is only the 28 spline axle and with drum brakes. I'm going to be putting it in my S15 here, S10. It's got a 327 small block. Right now it has the original 7.5 to 7 5/8 axle, 10 bolt, with 28 spline axles and a G80 locker. And the G80s, well, they hold up for a little while, but then they seem to not work anymore. So I know this isn't the strongest one. The 31 spline would be the best option, but this is what I found at the scrapyard, and I liked it because I like the 355 gears. The other ones that were in the Explorers there were all open diff or gears like 410s, which would be great for drag racing, but I'm not going to be doing that. So this axle has drum brakes, so I don't really need to do anything to convert it from my truck. Already has drum brakes. All I need to do is move the mounting spot to the other side and in 3/4 of an inch on both sides. So I'll grind these off and this and re-weld them on the other side. I'm not going to shorten it because I don't think I really need to. It's only going to be 1 3/4 inches wider on each side. So if we look from where it is now with this wheel, 1 3/4 inches, it's going to be just sticking past. So the tread will actually be flush, but the tire will just bulge out past, which won't be too bad, I don't think, if you look straight down. So yeah, that won't be a problem. It'll look a little bit better the front on all S10s, even Blazers and everything. The fronts stick out further than the backs, as you can clearly see on this, even more than this. But yeah, as you can see there, so this will be out just a little bit further than the front, not much, so just more even. And I don't know, so if I were to be running, say, like 15 by 10s on, and drag radials or a drag setup or anything, obviously another 3-inch lip on a wheel, and it would be obnoxiously far out. So I don't think this will be too bad. Plus, if I do find an 8.8 with 31 splines, then I would rather spend time on that rather than this, which I don't think I'll ever have a problem with this because it'll spin these tires no problem. So I don't think I'll break an axle or nothing like that. So I already took the axles out and I've removed the studs from this side, and I'm going to be drilling the new bolt pattern. So the way I'm going to attempt to drill these is I have a brake rotor from the rear of a Blazer, and it'll go over here and then it'll show me where these need to be. Then I'll mark the holes and find center with a drill bit. So you get a larger drill bit and then you put that in the hole, you clamp it down, and then it'll mark exactly where the center of the hole is by the drill bit. A centering punch would be probably the best thing to use, but this should work, and if it doesn't, oh well. So what I'm going to do now is strip the axle. So I'm going to take the brake lines off and the e-brake cables. I believe the S10 e-brake cables should come in here and work. I think they should work. They look similar, but anyways, I'll take those off, and then I'm going to go with a wire wheel and clean the entire axle. So I'll take the brake lines and everything off and then clean the whole thing. drilling the holes for the new bolt pattern, pretty simple. Starting at a smaller size, going up to just under 1/2 inch, about a 32nd under 1/2 inch, so this second drill bit under 1/2 inch, because the studs are just a little bit smaller. They have to bite in with the splines. The studs I got out of the original axle from the S10, and they hammered right in, no problem. So I set the pinion angle at 4 degrees, which is what they said on the Googles, so it should be about right. After setting the pinion angle and tacking the plates on, took it over to the stick welder and dialed it in with some 7018, so it's all good to go now.
Ken will have some of them, they're $12.55.
Would I need those?
Well, if you want to put a Vortec intake on there.
Well, I first need a Vortec intake.
Well, I'll need a pair. Same thing. You'll probably get intake on my truck.
Was it the same height as that one?
Yeah.
Just go a little bit more on each one. And there we go, something like that. So now this is okay because this centers it, because the axle and this are tapered, so that should be fine. Even these could be square holes, it doesn't matter, because the clamping force of the wheel on the lugs would be enough. This will never turn under braking. So yeah, that's good. That's all you need to do, really. Probably took 10 minutes, 15 minutes, so no problem. Alright, so there it is, it's on. Both of them are good to go. So I'm going to pick up some oil and then we'll pull the old axle out and see if we can get this one in. Alright, so I got the sway bar disconnected. This one bolt, well, it came off there just as it was intended to. But I think these, if I grind them out a bit, they'll fit on the new axle. Alright, so I just got the e-brake cables off. They're kind of a pain. They should work. They're a little bit longer than the Ford one, but I may just have to adjust it out up there further a little bit. So now I've got these U-bolts out, and I'm going to clamp off the flex line with the vice grips and take it off here. And then I'll get the other side done as well. Then the axle should be ready to come out. I've got the drive shaft out, and there should be nothing else holding it in. It's a little difficult with one person, but not impossible. Well, it's out. Alright, so this axle is supposed to be 1 3/4 inches shorter on each side, so that one will be just a little wider, which shouldn't be too bad. Alright, so I just made a paper gasket for the diff cover out of a case of beer. Anyways, I also got new wheel cylinders because this one, the bleed screw, wouldn't come undone, so I've got them. But I'll put that in when it's in, because it's kind of, it would be more difficult. It was hard to get it with this thing moving around like this, so get it in there, bolt it in, then we can put it on. So I'll put it in the same way that the old one came out, maybe try to do it a little bit more gracefully, but we'll see how it goes. Alright, well that's where I've got to cut this video off. If I didn't, it would be 40 minutes long. So anyways, the next one will be coming next week. So we get it in, and you see the carnage from what happened with the old 7.5 G80 locker, which we took apart, found some interesting things in that. So stay tuned for that. Anyways, we'll see you in the next one.